Now, we have a really kind message coming in on Twitter from Rurikar. I'm just going to read this out because he was one of the folks who contributed to Kickstarter and helped us raise enough money for Hell It's About Time. Plus, we recently cast a replay of his for Kickstarter. Now, he did request it be private, so it's not public, but him and his wife played a TvT and did it quite well. Says, wish payday was yesterday so I could have helped out Rifkin and Zombie up today. Oh, yeah, and rent due soon, too. Hashtag priorities. Hey man, it's all good. I don't think we're going to be hitting that goal anytime soon, so anytime is good for you is good for us, and I appreciate the sentiment. But we are getting into map number 2 here in the semifinals. Spawning in the top left corner of the map, it's going to be the Red Terran player Speak Now, better known as Byun.
In the bottom right, as the Blue Terran, it's Ryung.
Okay, so I think that you're questioning, can Ryung do this again? Because Ryung didn't just win that game, he won it really well. There's two things to this that I want to consider though. One is the fact that Ryung has been playing a lot more recently. I'm not sure if it's just the recent failures at Red Bull that inspired Axiom to do more, but like we're seeing Hart and Ryung stream all the time. Crank was already, of course, their #1 streamer, being on Nvidia all the time as well as his own channel. We're seeing them practice more, play more, and I mean, results are showing. And Ryung being the champion of last week, he's up 1-0 against Byun of all people, something I would never see happening in Heart of the Swarm. I'm liking this new Ryung.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just I guess there's always the chance, and some people were already showing this, like, who is the American Terran?
Semper.
Semper, yes. Semper, basically, mediocre, basically, let's be real, and I'll probably admit to, in Heart of the Swarm. But in Legacy of the Void, like, he was actually pretty good. He could contend in an Olimoleague and get to the semifinals, or maybe even the finals. Or, I guess, Legacy League, actually, is what he was contending in, but... Anyways, I haven't seen him in a while. But that's the thing, though, is that for some reason...
Well, school's
X, Y,
back.
or Z... Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. But X, Y, or Z, some people they just get more in tune with the expansion. Like, not that they are, like, so motivated because it's a new expansion and they practice a lot more, though that might have something to do with it. It's just they literally feel better about the game. And they're like, yeah, this makes a lot more sense to me.
I actually asked him at Hell It's About Time, do you ever watch our casts? What do you think about what we say about you type thing, right? And he just kind of like puts a smile and like hangs his head, like kind of disappointed. He's like, you guys aren't wrong, but you know, I don't think I'm that bad. But no, Semper, like I will always praise him because he really did come out of the gate strong with Legacy, and I really don't know, something as simple as just tanks being moved around changes up everyone's dynamic and how they play. And I don't know, I'm impressed with it all. Oh, you're playing with your cat. I was like...
What are you doing?
Her cat is trying to nip at her. One of these days, guys, I'll do caster cams. Not anytime in the near future, but if her cat keeps being the show-stealing star that he is, maybe.
He got angry at me for moving my arm. We have a bit of a drop coming in for Byun. It's a Wood of Mine and 5 Marines. Looks like Ryung was expecting a Banshee. Ooh, that's a waste of minerals.
Viking will still be somewhat helpful here. It's just that he doesn't have a hell of a lot of ground.
The Viking would be very useful. Okay.
Oh god, that Wood of Mine shot was glorious. Now this doesn't devastate the SCV count. Down by about 6. That's the Wood of Mine shot.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh. Finishes the 3rd turret though, and I really feel that's a waste of minerals for Ryung.
No, maybe not. It kills the Wood of Mine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's the most obvious truth. Alright, give you that one. But still, I mean, he has 3 missile turrets now that aren't going to be too helpful. He really thought it was be Banshees. Well, there's 1 Banshee. Alright.
Yeah, Zombie, why don't you just calm down there?
I know, but he's actually getting a 2nd Banshee. Like, I'm really surprised he does this.
I know, and he saw the turrets too.
There's 3 missile turrets. Whatever. Byun do what Byun wants.
Byun, confidence to say the least, but I don't think it's always a terrible idea. I do love the idea of the mid-game Banshees being able to help pick off some of the siege tanks or break siege lines, but yeah, as far as getting actual damage done to the mineral lines, not likely to happen.
Ryung did scout there was a tech lab on that starport. He was entirely in his right to finish those missile turrets. I just can't believe that Byun bothers with the 2nd Banshee. Missile turrets were absolutely worth it. The Wood of Mine placement, absolutely worth it. That went from like a Wood of Mine getting a good shot in SCVs and being like, oh no, is this already the start, you know, the return of Byun, to just going south again for Byun.
What is this Feel's birthday, man? I'm gonna copy paste it.
I approve.
All right. Well, we already have upgrades for Byun, so in a small way he might get ahead of Ryung if Ryung's a little bit late to the party for this.
Ryung does have a faster third CC though. Has a nice Viking count, which historically have always been worth it. They've gotten the medevacs, they've gotten, you know, the drop taken care of. It has always seemed to be worth it, so that's already something that's good for Ryung. He deals with the Banshee, no problem. Byun's still trying to make it work. Gonna try and get like a tank or something. It's a Marine.
I'm gonna just quickly queue up the DJ air horn really quick, because holy shit! We just had SD2 Knight. This guy's been with us since the days of StarCraft 2 Survivor. Resub for 24 months. Let that sink in, guys. We've had a sub button for 2 fucking years. Holy shit. Holy shit. And he's been with us for the whole time. SD2 Knight, you're my hero. Thank you so much for your long-time support, brother.
Byun's Banshee finally gets a couple SCV kills. Ryung also dipped down in SCVs because he got that third command center so much quicker, I'm not sure. But he's once again finding a very obnoxious place to put his tanks. He has that air control so he can always just lift and leave.
Picking off refineries goes a long way in TvT. It's a nice catch.
SCVs might go down too. Again, like, Ryung can do this and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah, it's the Vikings really protecting everything here. I mean, yeah, there's the concern of maybe getting caught off guard by Marines, but that's on Ryung to not get complacent or lazy about what's going on.
Byun's upgrade is going to finish just a little bit sooner, but not enough to really matter. Even that combat shields probably won't have a timing that he'll hit. As Ryung's getting his own tanks, and tanks buy a lot of time if necessary. As that third CC, and we'll see where he takes it, or when he takes it. Surprised those SCVs could get out. Thought they were trapped.
Well, it's weird to see the SimCity be the way that it is.
What died?
I think it's the Widowmine. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
kind of sorry. I'm ADD around the map right now.
Yeah, right? I think that was the Widowmine that had killed that medevac earlier on. Banshee did live a lot longer than I expected it to. Gotta give it that. Oh, finally it does.
You're a real bad jinx today, you know that? Like,
I know, right?
The Banshee's, I'm surprised she's still alive.
Today.
It's actually, this is like the one time, right? Like, this is your black hole moment. You're too busy being right for every other moment of every other game. So it's like the one game you're not gonna be right, is you're gonna be like really not right.
Yeah, it's okay.
I can live with it.
I'll take it. That's a big army for
Dude, what
Byun.
What if, hear me out, what if it's not that you curse Ryung, what if Ryung curses you?
Flip it. But the reason that Byun has such a big army, though, is that he doesn't have a third CC. Ryung invested into that. And he's going to have a moment, you know, 2-3 minutes, where it's going to be very dangerous to try and take the third CC, to try and actually, like, get something from it. And he might just die if he can't deal with this attack.
Well, the Marines get on top of this so easy. And you talked about the combat shields maybe not having a timing, but they certainly did. Heavily influencing that fight. Ryung's is still not finished with about 2 seconds to go. SCVs get pulled and most of his Marines are gone. Oh my god. Now he does clean up the sky with the Vikings, which is nice. Yeah, can you stop? Like, Jesus. Like, he's not going to have time with those combat shields.
8 seconds. Like, combat shields actually work.
Like, that was so clutch. But Ryung might still clean this up. And you brought up the topic of the third CC. He's down workers, but this is the one time that might not be so bad. At the very least, he's going to have a third mule to drop, which will help bridge that gap until he's able to get the actual SCV count back to where he wants it.
I suppose he does have an opportunity to recover. You know, not only does Byun not have a third CC, well, I guess he does. He's floating over his main. In a way, he does. I was gonna say he's mining out of his main and his natural. But if he can secure this third base, this quote-unquote third, then, I mean, what's the difference?
I just want to, like, leave you to solo cast for the rest of this game and see what happens, like.
To be fair, that wasn't wrong. He doesn't really have a third CC.
No, it's an orbital, so you're correct. Way to go.
Oh. Very nice concave for Ryung, however.
Yeah, they're both on even upgrades this time as well, so there's no distinction in those combat shields. Again, 10 health on each Marine goes so far when you're fighting Marine versus Marine. Catches the ones in the middle of the map. Two more free kills for Ryung.
And the medevac counts is higher for Ryung consistently because those Vikings are tearing him down.
And this is an example where that air dominance really comes into effect. Because let's not forget, like, while it looked like Byun was pushing in to kill Ryung, Ryung was, while losing the ground, killing all the medevacs in the sky.
Yeah. Just barely hanging on, and that might have been the key here. He's back up in supply. He has that third base, as well as his main mining, whatever it has left over, basically. It's a little less mined out than Byun's was. Neither can really go up to an armory. Oh, no, Byun's going to try. Byun does have a lot of gas. I guess they both have a lot of gas. Byun's going to try and play it out to a macro game, but only off of 2 CCs. It's kind of funny.
It's a strange world we live in, Savage. I don't know.
It might work, man. I don't know. Main is getting dropped right now, very young. Obviously, no SCVs to kill up here.
So, I mean, it's so weird to consider. It's one less CC, so it's less mule, obviously less scans, blah blah blah. But it is still the same situation where both of them are going to be on pseudo 2-base economy. You know, the mains are mining out. Ryung needs to transfer some of these SCVs quite badly.
He does, but he mined out so much slower than Byun.
I would love if Ryung, by the way, he hasn't actually seen that the command center's gone yet. I would love if he flies in there and scans. He's like, oh yeah, when did I kill that? Like, what happened?
Byun starts his 2-2. Ryung throws on an armory finally. This is economy stabilized, as well as probably a second engineering bay at some point. But he's going to be behind in that 2-2. And apparently Byun can hit those like 10-second upgrade timing. So this time it's going to be like a minute. 2 minutes maybe? Depends how fast Ryung is on his upgrades.
So I'm curious about this emote in chat. I guess Total Biscuit has a 59. And I know he's all about that 60 FPS thing. But I'm just finding it funny because for those who've been around Base Rate TV for a while know that I had to stream at 59 FPS for about a year because for some reason 60 would make exploit. So I'm considering subbing just for that emote, if nothing else. We do have scans going down once again, but it's actually Byun doing the scans, pardon me. Sorry, I thought it was Ryung. Both of them just basically looking around the map, trying to spot armies, looking for what's safe.
Byun's upgrades are honestly very scary. Ryung, again, not so quick after that armory's down to start his own upgrades, so it's just increasing and increasing more. Ryung having like 3 CCs technically mining
so
is
many
strong.
Tanks over his opponent. Oh my god! Byun's a little bit late to unload those tanks too!
Yeah.
Oh no, this could go really badly either way. Both players are going to wipe each other's armies off the map. The question is who gets out of here with more, and I think the medevac's getting out alive would be huge for Ryung. I thought he was actually going to drop the main while this went on, but looks like he was pushed back by the Marines just kind of chilling. And this was his timing to really get some concrete damage done, to really not suffer from the 2-2 that's going to come follow this up. And I am a little bit worried now because, unfortunately, well, Ryung has a massive army lead. 2-2 on Marines goes a very long way.
It does, and even after that fight, Byun could still technically take a really good one of those upgrades. Although Ryung is looking quite good at 20, 30 plus.
Zombie Up is wrestling with her kitty there. Maybe you should just go give him food. He'll leave you alone.
Well, he doesn't even eat the wet food. They give him like one snack, and he's like, thanks, and like he leaves.
Oh, your cat's so adorable.
I know. Byun really banking a lot on these upgrades. You know, still no third command center. His natural's now getting mined out. He's banking a lot on having some really decent upgrades, but versus the tank count,
Those Vikings going to come into effect. You know, they weren't here in the last fight, worth noting. They might go down to the Marines.
Pretty bad by Ryung.
But
didn't have any space to unload.
Maybe, but he also doesn't lose too much for this, right? Like, he actually keeps a majority of this alive. He knew exactly when to back away.
No, it's good that he backed away, but he had a 15-20 supply lead. Now it's no supply lead.
Yeah.
It was not game-ending, and certainly the fact that he now has a fourth. I don't even know anymore, Rifkin. Jesus, he has another base mining.
Oh, it is actually a third, like, in terms of economy, but soon to just be 2. It just, both of them constantly rotating around 2 base economy, as Byun will soon have to lift his own command center. In fact, there we go, as I say it, moving it over the same way. I've not seen pacing go like this, because normally we're used to seeing Terran players just build 14 CCs casually, like it's nothing at all, but the money situation is tight. Neither of these guys have maxed out for, like, any point this game.
Ryung is in trouble now. I mean, I think he really thought like, oh, I'm on 3cc. He's not. I have a big lead. And he had a lead for sure. Now it's gone. The upgrade lead is going to be worth so much more as they're getting, you know, more and more scared about their economy. This is scary stuff. The only thing that will trump those upgrades is really good tank positioning.
Ryung is so badly out of position for this, though. He's going to lose that CC.
I love that the minerals are all like mining out, so he's actually able to like go through his third. But yeah, he loses his CC.
I've never seen that happen in any game we've cast on this map. No one's walked through their own third.
Right? Ryung really needs a drop on Byun's third natural thing, and he can do a lot of damage.
Side of the map.
No space to land the tanks. It's a lift.
This is bad. This is really bad for Ryung. He's no longer mining, and his opponent is, and we can see those numbers skyrocket here in the bottom. Now, looking for a way to use the Vikings. Sadly, these aren't the snipers that they were in the early game. There's a lot more Marines on the ground and a lot more units to contend with.
Yeah. Well, they're trying, but this is just buying more time for Byun's Marine upgrade to finish. I mean, plus 200 tanks is nice for Ryung, but I'd give the favor to all those Marines with their insane upgrade lead. Again, a drop to the third could drastically cut Byun's mining, but Ryung's not thinking about it right now. He's just trying to get his own economy back up.
Thank you, Fifferson, for the 5-month resub as well, by the way. Now, Ryung sees some unsiege tanks, and it looks really delicious, but it's not going to be the opportunity he's looking for. Baits, Byun, though, into his own tank fire. Both players got to be careful not to over-engage with those Marines.
Ryung could go back to mining. 26 SCVs is enough to saturate one base.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And he's got the gas bank that he doesn't need those refineries. Actually, funny enough, we've seen that happen a couple times in Legacy so far, where Terran players, you don't usually take these refineries as you expand. The other ones are expired / not mining. So Byun actually has a very low gas income, funny enough.
Yeah, Ryung seriously needs a drop. He needs to cut the economy. He needs to lift his own natural command center. Maybe he can sneak away another base again. I mean, the last one died and that sucks, but now the focus is here. Maybe he can get away with it. I don't know. He needs to break this and break it really well, because Byun's economy somehow is better. The course of this game, you would not have expected that.
No, not with the way this has gone, especially with this whole CC situation. But takes a good fight here on the right side. This actually completely cuts off Byun's army.
Could take the third now with his natural.
Oh, God.
Probably should.
Actually can't, because crushing a Marine would be immoral, and you can't do that.
The upgrades are so bad, though. 2-1 versus 3-3.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes here. Ugh.
I think that's where this is really starting to slip out of Ryung's hands. I mean, the priority obviously has gone into pumping out units.
But Byun, okay? Byun made the choice to go for an armory, where I didn't think either one could afford to go for an armory. Like, he actually did it and got, like, 8 minutes of game time with it. That's so surprising.
Those Marines got shredded wrapping around the tanks like that. His tanks choked him in so badly. Despite that upgrade disadvantage, it takes a somewhat even Marine fight, but at the end of the day, it's 2 tanks to none and production to no production. Good game is called. It looks like Byun will tie up the series 1-1. Now, I gotta imagine the other semifinals is finished by now, so we at least know who these guys are playing against. Yeah, it's Lucira, so if either of these guys win the next game, one of them will go on to fight against Lucira. We are, however,